What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we are going to be working on replacing some vibration dampeners on our AC unit. Stick around, we'll get into it. Alright, and so like I just said, we're going to be replacing the vibration dampeners, and those are on the bracket that holds up the battery that you see here, which is a low voltage battery, as well as bolting the AC compressor right thereon. Now, what happens in these typically is after you've been in an accident or hit a curb, a pothole, whatever that might be, these rubber dampeners basically rip and break off, and you'll find that the compressor is just kind of hanging there. That's the reason I have a zip tie holding on to it right now. Now, the reason I didn't replace this unit when I was building this car was because at the time I was under the impression that I could not buy parts from Tesla. Well, we all know that that's not true anymore after we watched the video that I did showing you guys the truth behind Tesla. So knowing that, I didn't think there was any way to service it, and so I was forced to do this. And what happens is you'll find your car buzzing or humming real loud or chattery, and you'll hear it when you hit bumps or just even turn on the AC on high. So that's definitely problematic. It's very, very annoying. And obviously it's dangerous for you, or basically your car, potentially ruining your AC bouncing around in here. It's not good. But now they make some replacement units that get pressed into the actual bracket itself, and that today is what we're going to be doing. Now, I ordered them, and I will put the link in the description below for them if you guys are interested in buying them off eBay. eBay is the only place I found them. They come from out of the country, but they seem like they're top quality, so hopefully they'll last and do a better job than the originals did. Anyways, getting into it, the first thing we need to do is we need to cut off power on the entire car, both the low voltage battery and the high voltage. And the reason for that is obviously, one, the low voltage battery has to come out of here, and two, this thing is high voltage. Obviously we don't want to get shocked. So let's get into that at the starting. I'm going to unbolt the battery here and we'll pull that thing out of the way. Okay, we'll start with the high voltage battery first. It's really simple. There is a lever down in here you have to pull to the side, pull towards the driver's side, and this will lift up. You will remove this foam piece right here in which you'll see this cut out. That's where our connector is. There's our connector right there. Simply pop that piece down and pull it off. Your high voltage is now disconnected. Time to move to the front. Front's really easy. You're going to have a bracket on here. I don't have mine on here right now, but you do have a bracket that goes across there. Simply unbolt that, and then you'll have two 10mm nuts that are be loosened right here, and this thing should pull off, and you'll be able to pull the battery right out. Let me get to that now. Okay, now with the battery out, we have better access to get to the 3 bolts we have to do to loosen this unit from the actual bracket. And you'll see there's one here. There's one here, and then what you have to do is kind of tricky. You need to reach around the front side of this here, and there's actually one down here. So I'm going to remove the lower one first because that's the hardest to get to. Then I'll move to the top two, and at that point I should be able to pull this compressor away. And once that's done, then we should be able to, if I'm really lucky, to slide that out of there. If not, I have to drop everything from the bottom side, and that's a lot more work and not as fun. So I'm going to hopefully be able to get that thing out. Let me try it, and well, we'll see what happens. Alright guys, so that was fairly easy. Again, keep in mind, take that lower bolt out first, because if you don't, you're going to have this thing hang. It's going to be hard to get to. You're just going to have a nightmare. So take the bottom one out first. It was really easy. And then go to the top, take the top two out. Now you'll see this thing's loose, and I should be able to move it out of our way once I have this disconnected and our high voltage line down here disconnected and a few clips taken off. This should technically speaking, pull out of the way, but we'll find out here in a second. Let me try it. Alright, and so there it is, exactly like I figured. We just kind of fold it out of the way. In fact, I didn't have to disconnect the high voltage line on the bottom. I was able to simply fold it out of the way. But now you can kind of see the front of that bracket and how extensive it is. Now, I've actually fixed this once when I first did the vehicle because I couldn't get one. I took urethane and made my own mounts. Now, that worked all great and everything, but like I said, they're so stiff that I still get the vibration into the frame, so that's why I changed that. Moving forward, we have some clips to take off. We got one that's got to come off here, and a couple on the back side right here that hold coolant lines. Once that's off, in theory, I should be able to pull this down and out. So let me try to do it. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, you have two 15mm bolts here and here that are going to go ahead and release this thing. And there we have it. It's time to bring it to the shop and take a look at this thing. All right, now we got it sitting on the bench. Here's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a socket. The particular one that I'm using is 32mm. It fits right in. I'm going to hammer these things out through the bottom. You'll see they come right out. Not a big deal. They'll move slowly. You might want to spray some WD-40 on the backside to allow them to get some lubrication as they come out. And then you'll see here are our replacement units here. Pretty straightforward. They do go in a certain way though, so you want to make sure whichever way yours come out, because they're cupped on one side and not on the other, that you put them in the same way that they do come out. Alright guys, and simple taps is pretty easy. Just keep tapping them until you feel it get loose. I'm doing this one-handed, so I look kind of goofy right now. But you can see it's moving down nonetheless. It's pretty simple. Go ahead and knock all 3 out. We'll align the new ones in. Alright, now with the old ones out and the new ones sitting here, you can kind of look at the new ones and you'll see they're all a little bit different. They're kind of offset, and you'll see how this is the cupped side and this one is not. But looking at them, you can kind of tell that they're kind of offset a little bit. And I noticed that with the originals as well. So you'll want to make sure to take a measurement of your AC compressor. Fortunately, I actually have an extra one laying around. I don't know if you want to call that fortunate, but whatever. But I'll be measuring it from here to here, and then from here down to the lower one to make sure that I get all these things set specifically on how they have to be, and they're in the right way. So I'm going to go ahead and get these things pressed in. You'll want to use some sort of grease to get these pressed in. You don't want to start really hammering on these things if you don't have to. Again, light taps if you're doing it the way that I'm doing it, or just use a hammer, just use a press and press it in is probably your better bet. Okay, and with the tape measure out, it looks to be about 6 5/8 from side to side. And somewhere from 6 1/2 from up here to about down here. It's time to go ahead and get these things inserted in here. Alright, so what I went ahead and done is lube everything, and I got everything set in and measured out to exactly where my 6 5/8 is. Now I had to spin these because again they're offset a little bit, but you want to make sure that these upper ones are going the same direction offset, otherwise it would be kind of like that and it wouldn't be good, right? So I turned them so they both were the same direction. They're both hitting 6 5/8, as you'll see right there. And now I got the lower one set in here and it's going 6 5/8 as well. Now something to point out. You'll notice the 2 upper ones here have the cups facing, I guess, that way, and the lower one's facing this way, if that gives you a better angle. So you want to make sure those are the orientations, because that is the way it comes new. Nonetheless, it's time for me to pound these things in, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. Alright guys, so as far as putting them back in, I'm pretty much just tapping it in so they're stuck in place. You'll see it's not even all that straight right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and use a vise. The vise is going to be the best way. I don't want to pound on them and accidentally screw up the actual urethane that's holding them in right now. So we're just going to stick it in the vise, and we're going to use this vise to slowly kind of twist it in, as you'll see right here. I'm going to go ahead and get all 3 in that way. This one's a little bit tougher because it is at an angle, but I'll do my best to get it in the same way as long as I don't have to worry about ruining what I'm working on. So, like I said, let me get these things in here. I'll show you what they look like when they're all done. Okay guys, so just to be safe, I went ahead and installed the screws into the front sides of the upper half here. And I have the last one to do, and if I look down at it, it might be kind of hard to tell on camera, but it's kind of low. And so what that means is I am going to have to focus on having my low side facing straight down like you see right here when I put this back in, so I know that the screws are basically they're aligned and they're going to be in right. So I'm going to put the last one in now, and we're going to get this thing put back into the car. And moving forward here, we'll have all 3 inserts in. We're getting ready to throw this thing back in. Now again, we're just doing the reverse order of obviously what we've done already. We're going to throw all the mounts back in to get the bracket itself in, and then when we're done, we'll mount the AC compressor back to it and get all the small connectors and whatever else clipped it back in. Okay, brackets back in. Time to put in the compressor. Remember, we're going to put the 2 mounts on top first, and then we'll go for the lower. Okay, and with the compressor and the battery now in and the high voltage now hooked up, it's time to get inside and check our results. Okay, and so right now you can see it's about 83 degrees outside. I have the AC set as low as it'll go, that is whatever that might be. And you'll see that it's cranked right now. Pull it back up here. It's cranked with 10. I'm going to turn it down just to see if we hear any compressor noise whatsoever here. Literally next to nothing inside the car. So that was an amazing fix, guys. It was fairly inexpensive at only I want to say it was like $65 or something like that shipped. So comparing that to spending, I don't know, maybe $250 on a new bracket from Tesla, I think it's a pretty good fix. And it looks like they're a little bit more heavy duty than the old ones. So I hope you guys will like this content. Hopefully it at least helped one of you guys out there. And if it did, hit that thumbs up, and you haven't already, click that subscribe button, because you know we got more Tesla content coming up in the near future. Talk to you on the next one.